So, of course, we knew this would come. You cannot go to endless wars. You cannot teach people in Afghanistan how to be Vermont postmodern third wave feminists. You cannot do that and not have a price tag come up. You cannot do a lockdown and ruin people's lives, destroy so many businesses, arrest people that go to playgrounds, psychologically terrorize your population and abuse them when they say stop. We can't do that and then think, oh yeah, it'll be perfectly fine, right? Anybody with a brain, anybody with a heart, or both would see this coming a mile away, as we have been reporting this would happen for a long time. The only reason why we haven't had a dollar crisis yet is because of our military, bases all over the world, our military monopoly as the world's crooked policeman that's throwing bags of drugs in some people's backyards and hiding other people's drugs, as they say. It depends on what your leader in your local country has to offer the crooked world policeman that our D.C. bureaucrats have become. But we've seen this a mile away, and they didn't, because they're arrogant and they lie for a living. They believe their own lies. They believe their own hubris. They believe that they're God. They believe that their sacred money temple, the Federal Reserve, is able to guide you to the right choices, to protect people, that they can lock down businesses. They can create that scam COVID relief bill stuff, throwing, again, communistic scraps to you on the table. Oh, I got my stimmy check. Yes, I remember people on the right. I won't name names right now, but there's a lot of them. Oh, Biden, the Trump people should have really pushed for those stimulus checks earlier, and McConnell should have pushed for more stimulus checks. Yeah. That's a short-sighted, dumb, political-focused way of looking at things, not a reality-based, ethical, Christian way of looking at things, okay? You cannot be a Christian and be for printing money out of thin air and giving it to people and then telling people you're doing something for them. You can't be a Christian if you understand how that works. I understand maybe you could be a Christian if you're ignorant about how that works, but once you understand the sausage making of stimmy checks and these scam COVID bills, people like Thomas Massey wanted people to be counted for their vote. And of course, he got the wrath of Trump for just trying to do his frickin' job in a world in which you're supposed to go along with might makes right and central planning and socialism, and then say you're fighting socialism because you use a little bit of different rhetoric and a little bit of tax cut and a little bit of a regulatory snip here on the bush. You clip one leaf off of a regulatory apparatus of the EPA. It's this giant hedge, tentacled, nasty hedge filled with all kinds of tentacled vines all around it. And you snip one leaf off of it and you call yourself a big opponent of socialism. That's conservative ink for you today. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to help. You've got to look at things at a deeper level. Why do we have a Fed? Are we allowed to end the Fed or not? Oh, you can't end the Fed. People say that's too extreme. Oh, yeah. It's called having courage is too extreme for these folks. Having a backbone is too extreme for these folks. Having a heart and not wanting to see the middle class gutted with their dollar collapsing, that's called too extreme for conservative or populist or Republican ink, isn't it, folks? It's much more easy to just print money out of thin air and say, hey, we're here, we're populistic, we're for the people. That's why we're going to literally steal and destroy their savings and crush their grandchildren's hopes because we want to get elected in the midterm, so we're going to promise goodies. That's not going to work, folks. You know it.